Hello, I'm Nathaniel Blanton Hibner, and I'm the Director of Ethics for the Catholic Health Association. I invite you now to watch this video case study, to reflect on the issues raised in the dialogue, and to ask yourselves how you would contribute to the conversation.
Each week, a multidisciplinary leadership team gets together to discuss improvements to St. Somewhere Hospital's length of stay numbers. Some team members have come straight off patient floors. Others arrive from their offices or are attending virtually. The team was formed with the goal of reducing unnecessary inpatient days. It is part of a larger initiative addressing avoidable delays to patient discharges. Here's our team: the Chief Executive Officer, the Mission Leader, Michael, the Chief Financial Officer, the Chief Medical Officer, the Chief Nursing Officer, the Medical Director for the Hospitalists, and the Director of Case Management. Now, let's listen in.
I think everybody's here. Let's get started. It's good to have this team together to look at length of stays from different department viewpoints, because it's such an important issue right now. I'd like to hear any ideas you've had since our meeting last week. But first, can you, Michael, lead us in prayer? I do need a moment to transition from my last meeting to this discussion.
Sure. Let's just catch our breath and settle into this moment. Loving God, you call on us to heal, restore, and offer peace through the Catholic healthcare ministry. When our burdens are heavy, renew us. Remind us of our calling and reawaken our commitment to the healing ministry. Help us to see signs of your love and compassion in the world. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, team, does anyone have something to get us started?
I'll get us started. I read an article that connects length of stay to code status. It says specifically that the length of stay can be reduced when a patient consents to DNR within the first 24 hours of their stay. Why aren't we focused on code status as a length of stay initiative? If getting a do not resuscitate sooner in their stay can help us decrease length of stay, we should be able to put that into practice, right? Maybe add it to your checklist of discussion points?
I understand the data you're reading, but longstanding challenges with code status have been looked at time and time again. I think it's been determined that a DNR code status is rarely the magic ticket for impacting length of stay.
Hospitalists know these people should not be put through a code, but I can't force people to make the decision to be DNR on the first day of their admission.
True, but you can influence the decision, even if you don't force it.
We can influence it, but hospitalists are particularly aware that patients and families often need to actually see and experience their own deterioration before they will decide to consent to a DNR.
Many studies show when and how you have a discussion about treatment options can impact the choice a person makes. If you present it as a 95% chance of death instead of as a 5% chance of survival, or list out every possible complication, you make it a lot more likely they will choose DNR.
Education of the CPR technique and process can impact patients' decisions to choose not to be resuscitated, especially when the clinician emphasizes the intensity of CPR. The more the clinician emphasizes potential broken ribs, bruising to the surrounding tissue, internal bleeding, and harm to internal organs, the more the patient and families tend to consent to a DNR.
Should we be controlling what happens here? Shouldn't we leave these decisions to the patient or family? I just don't think it's right to manipulate people. I mean, this is a life and death decision.
I agree. I'm not comfortable providing biased information. Patients and families look to case managers like myself for the truth. It's what we have to present.
If transparent conversations about CPR usually move patients to choose DNR status, and we need to get patients to make this determination earlier in order to impact length of stay, why should we not think about initiating this conversation in the first 24 hours with transparent information about CPR consequences?
It's something to consider. Michael, I see you've been listening very intently to this conversation. We'd all like to hear your thoughts about this question. What are the moral and ethical perspectives in terms of our Catholic identity?
As this video shows, many times within Catholic healthcare, we have conflicting goods that we must manage. And so I ask that you reflect upon some guiding questions. What is the central ethical question that needs to be resolved? What are the most relevant moral principles, virtues, or norms for this proposal? In what ways can the mission and values of Catholic healthcare frame the question and guide the conversation such that all involved can empathize and understand each other's concerns? What nuances in these code status conversations might make them morally acceptable or unacceptable? What is missing in the conversation? What could you bring to that table?